What's up, everybody? Today is March 8th, 2016, and welcome in to Sosa's Steam Room. We are talking Cubs in the Cactus League, Blackhawks sweeping the Red Wings in the regular season, Bears free agency, and we get some Bulls talk from Chicago Bulls Confidential's Mark Karantzoulis. Let's hit it. Episode 008, Blake.
Ooh.
It's one more than 7.
That is.
And we're 2 away from 10, which is pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
We're almost 10 episodes in here at Sosa's Steam Room, and it's been fun so far, and we're looking forward to things to come. My name is Drew Edstrom, and the man sitting across from me right now is the co-host of this podcast.
Yes, I am.
And he likes the Lovie Smith hire at the University of Illinois.
I love it.
Say hello to the people.
Hello, people. How's it going?
I bet they're saying, it's going really well.
It's going good, Blake.
All right, before we jump in here, a couple housekeeping things. We have an email. Shoot us an email at sosassteamroom@gmail.com. We also have Twitter and a Facebook account. Just search Sosa's Steam Room. We also have personal Twitter accounts. My handle is at DN Edstrom. And Blake, your Twitter handle?
At Soldier Field BLG.
BLG. More exciting news for you all. We are launching a website tonight. After we're done recording, it will be live and ready to go. Most likely the domain is going to be sosasteamroom.com. So that is very exciting stuff.
Yes.
All right, Blake, I know you want to talk about this. Let's get into some Bears talk.
Yes.
The free agency kind of legal tampering time is now open, which means teams can kind of flirt with some free agents.
Yes. They've been doing a lot more than flirting.
Yeah, seriously. They've been getting cozy.
It's been pretty much start of free. They're dating. They're on a second date right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what the second date means? Hand-holding. They're probably holding hands.
It might be.
And free agency starts on Wednesday. The Bears' free agency cap hit at this time is $46.8 million.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to talk about this linebacker that some people know about from Denver, who the Bears are very intrigued with. They're on a third date with this guy.
Yes.
But it looks like he may have a side chick coming in the Atlanta Falcons.
Yes, and this is a guy that has been on the radar for a long time. And we've talked about him on this podcast. Danny Trevathan of the Broncos, Super Bowl winning linebacker, is in deep contract negotiations with Ryan Pace and the Bears front office. But and up until about 2 hours ago, we thought it was pretty much an impending deal was about to happen or something like that. But up until 2 hours ago, now the side chick showed her face.
Ugly face.
And it's
Ugly
the Atlanta Falcons. It's Matt Ryan.
Matty Ice showing his ugly face.
Despite, there's obviously going to be other teams in on every guy. But I still think this, he still will be going to the Bears at some point. He might outprice himself or just put him out of the Bears' price range of how far they're willing to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, I mean, they're talking a 7-year, not 7 years, $7 million per year deal, which is pretty reasonable.
Yeah, it's not bad.
And he'd be a great fit. I mean, knows John Fox. He was the first guy. John Fox was the first guy to give him an opportunity in the NFL. So I think he'll eventually come here, but it's still up for grabs.
It's
now.
Flirting time.
We'll probably find out right at 3 p.m. tomorrow, Central Time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and you have some other guys on this list here. Do you
Yes.
want to go through some of the names?
Yeah, I have a lot of guys on here because the Bears have a lot of money and will be spending a lot of that money on some big name guys, some value free agents, stuff like that. But the next guy in the next position I have is Luis Vasquez, who just got cut from the 49ers this afternoon. He's a guard. Really good player. Not from the 49ers, from the Broncos, sorry. You got cut from Broncos. But big need position for the Bears, the guard position. And he, getting cut just today, he'll come in a little cheaper. There's also Jeff Allen from the Giants, who could be a nice fit. Moving on just to other positions. A guy I really, really like, and I hope the Bears find a way to sign him, is Akeem Hicks from the Patriots. Got traded halfway through the year from the Saints to the Patriots, so familiar with pace.
Yeah, that's key.
And I think he'd be a really nice fit here. It'd come in a lot cheaper than Malik Jackson, who just signed today for a crazy amount of money. Yeah, so he's a guy I think they'll have at the top of their free agent board of guys they want to go and get. I also put down Jay Howard, who could be a really good fit at that position as well. Janoris Jenkins from the Rams, a guy who could have been tagged but didn't, so hit the open market. He'll get a pretty big deal from someone, could be the Bears. And then we have Sean Smith from the Chiefs, who's another cornerback who's really talented and will be more of a value player signing than maybe Janoris Jenkins or some of the other guys out there. But
yeah.
And then just finally, Ronnie McLeod from the Rams and Tayshaun Gibson, two guys I think are budding superstars who also will be nice value signings. And that's, I think, the most important thing of this offseason is getting guys who won't break the bank and will be nice additions to the Bears defense.
Because you never want to overspend in free agency, especially when you're in the position like the Bears where you've recently started to construct this rebuild. You saw Pace last year sign guys to kind of one-or-done, prove-it deals just to save money. So he's going to be able to have money to go get guys that he really wants who will fit this system, who will be the type of character guys that the Bears want. Yeah. And they can be guys that are looked to moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any thoughts on the importance of overspending in free agency?
Well, we saw the Jaguars today spend way too much on a marginally better player than most of the players at his position. Mm-hmm. And, you see what happens with guys like that. They usually don't pan out because you can't surround them with the type of guys you need because you just then rely on that one guy to fill up that huge hole in your defense or offense or whatever. Pace has said it before, they're not going to overspend. Like, that was the one thing he said that they will not do is, fall too much in love with one player and, give him all the money. So
all the money's in
the monies.
Yeah, it's extremely important just not to overdo it here. And I trust Ryan Pace. He seems like he knows what he's doing and he has a clear vision in mind. Yes. So we'll see what happens when we come to that Wednesday when the flirting time is over and the real relationship begins.
Yes.
We love relationships on Sosa Steam Room. Also, we had some Matt Forte getting some interest from the Packers, which makes me want to just projectile vomit all over this room right now, which I don't think Matt... I don't know what kind of feelings I would have towards Matt if he did something like that. We've said on this show before, we love Matt Forte.
Yeah.
We respect Matt Forte. He did a lot for this franchise. But to see him in a Packers uniform would be pretty awful.
That would be bad. And a lot of Bears fans agree with you. It's a possibility for sure.
Definitely is.
I would probably say they're the favorites to land him.
Which is surprising because usually when you look at the Packers in their offseason history, they're not a team that go out and spend money on a free agent like a Matt Forte. A lot of their talent is homegrown. Actually, all of their talent is basically homegrown except for Julius Peppers.
Yeah.
And they don't like spending that money. So, I mean, this would be a huge slap in the face to a bunch of Bears fans.
And, of course, Julius Peppers is
his buddy, and they're talking.
He's not holding back here. He's actively recruiting him to come play for the Packers. So, if you already were kind of having mixed feelings about Julius Peppers, that might be,
forget him.
Amped up a little more.
Forget him. I really hope just the Patriots come out of somewhere and just sign him.
The thing is, like, people reported that the Packers were interested into him. Okay. But the only reason that's, like, such a big deal is because it is the Packers, and, when they do show interest, it's, like, very rare. And so I'm sure I've heard there's a lot of other teams in on him, not just the Packers. We'll see where he goes. I mean, yeah, the Patriots, I think, would be a great landing spot. There's some other places too, but anywhere but Green Bay, and we'll be happy.
Please,
literally
Matt.
Anywhere. There's 30 other teams.
Please, Matt.
Go to one of those teams.
Don't do this to us. Don't put us in this situation where we have to decide whether we still like you or not.
I also don't think it'd be the best place for him as well.
I mean that O-line is not very good.
The O-line is not very good. Eddie Lacy's already there.
Fat.
They don't put as much emphasis on the running game. I mean, he could be a really good weapon for Rodgers in the passing game, but he still needs those 20 carries a game. I don't think he would get that.
And we will have a lot more information on this later in the week, or later next week, when we're recording live from Florida. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to some college talk here. We usually don't talk college, but I think it's important to talk about this because Illini football is now relevant.
Yes.
And I haven't been able to say that in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not grow up a University of Illinois fan. So just having this sort of move be made, for me, like it automatically looks at this Illinois team, and for the next, how long is the contract?
6 years.
6 years for Lovie Smith.
Yeah.
Makes them relevant now for the next 6 years in a conference that's full of personality, like a dude named Jim Harbaugh. So,
a lot of good coaches.
Your thoughts on the Lovie Smith signing for the University?
Like you said, it makes them relevant again, draws that attention from the Chicago media down to Champaign, and it just gives them a proven guy who, given talent, can really make players excel.
Yeah.
Especially on the defensive side of the ball. And just having a guy like that, I mean, it can do wonders for your recruiting just based off the name. I know people are kind of skeptical about, him going out and recruiting, but he just has to be himself, He's
a player's coach.
He's a player's coach. Everyone loves him. No Bears players that I've heard have ever said anything bad about Lovie Smith. So, yeah, it does. It's a great hire for a team that has just had no idea, no direction.
Well, the whole athletic department as a whole has been a complete mess. So this is a good step forward for sure. Personally, some of you guys are going to hate this, but Blake hates this, and he's given me grief for this for so long. I am a Mizzou Tigers fan, football-wise. I know. As a whole, I do not like the state of Missouri at all. I hate St. Louis.
Columbia's nice.
Columbia's a nice college town.
I'll give you that.
My girlfriend has gone there now for 4 years, and I really enjoy it, and I've gone to a couple games, so I consider myself a Mizzou fan for football stuff. Blake wanted me to mention that, so you guys could all hate me all of a sudden. But yeah, Mizzou as a whole is not good. There's
I think we're going to see a rise in Illinois.
And the fall
of Missouri.
That is definitely going to happen.
I think that probably will happen.
Getting on to the meat of this program here. Last week, I had the opportunity to sit down and talk to this great guy named Mark Karantzoulis. He is the co-editor and featured writer of Chicago Bulls Confidential, which is kind of another Bulls site on Chicago Now, which is the site that I blog for. He's also the host of the Dennis Podman podcast, which is a great name. So go check that out on iTunes. I just had the opportunity to sit down with him and talk the Bulls and their season and what was going on, his thoughts on the future. So here's that interview now with Mark Karantzoulis. Look him up on Twitter. Great guy. He's an Australian. Great accent.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Take a listen, all of you. All right, joining us now on Steam Room is the co-editor of Chicago Bulls Confidential as well as a co-host of Podman, Mark Karantzoulis. Welcome, Mark.